DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. We're going to get into this Q&A Thursdays. We're going to do this either every week or every other week, depending on my time schedule, getting to the questions. We're going to try to address these questions here. Like I said, I'm going to get to the good ones. The bad ones ain't getting answered. Don't keep posting them over and over again. So let's get right into it. We ain't going to waste too much time. All right, first question. Will from Sydney, Australia, asked me about vertical exercises. He's been doing simple ones like calf raises and squats. He talked to a trainer. He said some people are doing it right, and then he told him that he's not doing it any good. How does he know if he's doing it right, or should he try it and see for himself? Well, the answer to your second question is yes, you should try it and see for yourself, like what results you're getting, how you feel over a period of time, because it takes a few weeks. Give it like a month plus before you say whether something's working or not, because I hear people say, you know, I did air alert and it didn't work. I did the first 3 weeks and I didn't get no vertical change. I'm like, well, the program is 15 weeks, so you can't look at something after 3 weeks and say it don't look right. Like if you make a cake in the oven and they say bake it for 60 minutes, you don't pull it out at the 30 minutes and say, yo, it don't look right, this cake there's something wrong with this cake. No, you got to cook it for 60 minutes like they told you. So yes, you do have to see what kind of results you get, Will. And the other thing, Will, I got Jacob from the Jump Manual coming on here answering a lot of questions about vertical. I think you'd be better off asking him really than asking me, because he's an expert on vertical jump. I can jump and I can play basketball. I can dunk easily, but I'm not an expert at explaining what makes one person jump high and what makes another person not get results. And that's why you got a guy like Jacob. He wrote the Jump Manual. Now, if you want to ask me something about actual basketball skill with the ball, then that's a whole different category. I can answer that. But as far as how to jump and what training works and what doesn't, ask that man. That's why I connected with him, so you can get that information. If you need to get the Jump Manual, the link is right down there, or you can contact me if you want to get in touch with Jacob. I'll make that happen. All right, next question. Philip from Serbia says, what do I do to hype up for a game? Philip, I don't hype up before games. I don't want to be hyped before a game most of the time. At the most, I'll play a music that gets me into the right frame of mind, like an aggressive frame of mind, but I'm not trying to be hype, like drinking a Red Bull, like a football linebacker. I'm not trying to get hype. I want to just be on an even level, relaxed, and ready to play, because I have put so much work into my game and my skills over the years. Getting hype is not necessary for me. Like, I know I'm going to be one of the best players on the floor no matter what gym you drop me in and no matter who else is in there. Getting hype don't do anything extra for me. So, Philip, I don't get hyped before games. I just get ready. Mass, does the lighter shoes give you an advantage? Well, it's kind of a loaded question. I mean, for some people it does, for some people it doesn't. For example, like I used to have a pair of LeBron sneaks. Like the LeBrons are a lot thicker than, say, for example, the Kobe's or the Hyper Dunks, which is kind of made with the same technology as the Kobe's. Kobe's a lighter player. Kobe's like 205, 210 pounds. He lost a lot. He lost a good amount of weight back in '08 before the Olympics, and he liked the size he was at, so he kept playing at that size. He kept his power, but he lessened the load on his joints, because Kobe's a smaller guy. Then you get a guy like LeBron, who's like 250, 260 pounds. He's a man-child, freak of nature. You don't see a lot of big guys. If you watch basketball, you don't see a lot of the big players wearing Hyper Dunks or Kobe's, because their bodies are bigger. They need more support. So they wear shoes that are a little bit thicker, like LeBron James does, like whatever Blake Griffin would wear, or something that Dwight Howard would wear. I don't even know what they wear, but I know they don't wear the same thing a Kobe Bryant or Derrick Rose or who else, Jeremy Lin or whoever will wear. Or even somebody like myself, because we're smaller players, we're much lighter on our feet. So does a lighter shoe give you an advantage? I would say no. It depends on the type of player you are. I can't just say yes or no to any player in general. Like, you wear a lighter shoe, you're just going to be better all of a sudden, because LeBron looks pretty good in those shoes he's wearing, and Kobe looks pretty good in the shoes he got on. And if they switch shoes, if LeBron wore some Kobe's and Kobe wore some LeBron's, if you didn't see their shoes, I don't think you could tell a difference in their performance. Because if you can play, you can play. I mean, that's one of the things I always say. People ask, does this make you better? Does that make you better? Well, if you can play, you're going to be a good player no matter what. The shoes ain't really going to make you or break you. That's my opinion. You know, of course, other people have their opinions. The shoe company is going to try to sell you on what is going to get you to buy their shoes. But overall, I mean, if you can play, you can play. I mean, ain't nothing else to say about that. All right, so a player asked me, I don't have the confidence to do my moves during games. I don't have the confidence to play against my own teammates. What should I do? Well, you got two choices. Number one, you could play against your own teammates and get better, play in more games, go through the failures, go through the frustration, go through the embarrassment, go through the lack of confidence, go through the games where you don't score no points and nobody's passing you the ball, you're not getting no respect. Go through all of that, because I went through all of that. Go through all of that, learn from it, gain experience, and get better. The only way you're going to get better at playing in games is by playing in games. You can't think about playing in games and play better. You can't watch somebody else do it. You can't talk about it. You can't read a book. You got to go do it. And your other option is to stop playing basketball, because you're not going to get better doing anything else. Asking me ain't going to help you. Complaining ain't going to help you. Crying ain't going to help you. And none of the other stuff I mentioned before will help you. You got to go actually experience it, experience the failure, and you will be better for it if you keep going. Next question, Jonathan from Australia. He wants to be an NBA player, so he's taking basketball seriously. How do you shoot under pressure in a game? Because one-on-one he does good, but in a real game with people watching him and opponents around, he doesn't have the courage to shoot. Well, the same thing, Jonathan, for the previous question. If you want to get better at doing something, you have to actually go and do it and mess up and see yourself failing, experience the disappointment, experience the embarrassment and all of that. You're not going to get better at shooting at a game from some tip or some magic words I'm going to tell you. There's no secret sauce. There's nothing you can put in your shoes, no certain pair of shorts, no arm sleeve, no headband you can wear that's going to make you play better in a pressure situation. The only way you'll get better at it is by going through it. Just like the Michael Jordan commercial where he says, I've been trusted to shoot the game-winning shot 26 times or whatever number he said and missed. And because I failed so much, that's why I succeed. So you got to go through the failures in order to succeed. As simple as that. Thanks for the question. Kevin says, why are you determined to work out even if there's a chance you might not make it any further? Because it's not like a job to me. Playing basketball is not like a job to me. It's something that I enjoy doing. I'm passionate about it. I like to wake up in the morning knowing that I get to go lift weights or go run on the beach or go play basketball in some league or go work out for some team or go play somebody one-on-one or go work out on my own, or even posting the video and seeing people's responses and all of that. All of that stuff is fun for me. It's my passion to play basketball. I put a lot of years and work into this. So it's not about, I don't go into it thinking, well, this might not work out in the long run, so why do it? I mean, because if you think that way, eventually we all going to die. So why are we even on YouTube? YouTube ain't going to help you from dying. Nothing that you watch on TV is going to save your life when it's time for you to die. So if you're looking at things like that, like, well, eventually this might not work out, so why even try it? Then why would you do anything? By that logic. So thank you for the question, Kevin. Daniel from Ottawa asks, do the best get criticized? Well, I'm sure, Daniel, you know the answer to that. You think any player, whoever you think the best player is, I'm sure you could easily find some criticism of them if you just Google their name in 5 seconds. So you can answer that question yourself, Daniel. Paul from Oklahoma says his son's been playing for a year since he's been playing year-round since age 6. Since age 6. They've been taking him to camps, and the coaches that work out the thunder and the shock from the WNBA. Players hate on the hop step, which coaches taught him. What's my take on the hop step? Hop step is a legal move. I got a lot of videos using I call it the jump stop. You call it the hop step, the pro hop. There's a lot of different words people use for a reason. I made a whole hoop handbook out of it. Jump stop, scoring moves is a legal move. You see people do it in games. You saw Derrick Rose was doing it when he got hurt. He was doing a jump stop or hop step. LeBron James uses the move often. Those are 2 people I think of off the top of my head that use the move all the time. Well, whether coaches are hating on it or not, if you know it's legal, who cares? They can hate. I mean, everybody's not going to agree with everything you do. There are going to be some people with dissenting opinions on the things that you do or things that you say. All that matters is your actions. What another person says or thinks or does ain't your business. Your business is only what you do and what you think and how you handle the things around you. So that's that. If you know it's a legal move, Paul, ain't nothing else you can do. I mean, you can't beat people over the head with it. If they don't think so, let them think what they want to think. Jamil from the Netherlands. Is it easier for Americans to play overseas than for a player for Europe to play in America? Because they got a lot of Americans playing in the Netherlands on a team that he watches. Is it easier? People ask me that a lot. They ask me some questions, say, is it easier to do A than it is to do B? Well, easier is relative. For those of you who don't understand what that means, relative means for person A, like for me, I could say dunking a basketball is easy, and I'm correct. for me, it's easy because I'm the one saying it. Now, you might say dunking a basketball is extremely difficult, and you're right too. So you're right in saying it's difficult. I'm right in saying it's easy because it's relative to my situation, and what you speak is relative to your situation. So I don't know how easy it is for a European to go play in America because I'm not European and I haven't experienced that. And I wouldn't call it easy for an American to go play overseas because despite the number of Americans that are playing overseas, there are a bunch of them that want to be that ain't, that have never played a minute overseas and maybe never will because there's too many of them for the number of jobs available. All of them ain't going to get on. That's just how it is. So I wouldn't say it's easier. I mean, professional basketball ain't easy because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. While the majority of people talk about it and watch it, there are only a few people that actually do it. So no, I wouldn't say it's easier. I'll say both are challenging and you need a whole lot of skills and maybe a little bit of luck and great timing for either side, whether you're coming from Europe to America or America to Europe, to make it happen for yourself. Other thing, Jamil, is that there are a whole lot of leagues. There are hundreds of leagues if you're an American trying to go to Europe. If you're a European trying to come to America, there's only 2 leagues. You got the D League, you got the NBA, or college. If you're trying to go to college, it's basically only 3 options. If you're an American trying to go overseas, you got, each country got multiple levels of leagues, and then you got all those different countries. So it's way more opportunities. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Jaron, hopefully I said your name correctly. He says, how do I become more athletic? Like running faster, jumping higher. How do I dominate a real game? I do good in pickup games, but in real games I get passive. So I see a lot of y'all had the same question. How do I play better in real games? Play better in real games, you got to play in more real games. So I've addressed that already, so you can go back and listen to what I said to the other questions. How do you become more athletic? You become more athletic by practicing athletic things. You want to run faster, you got to practice running fast. You want to jump higher, you got to practice jumping. How do you do that stuff? Check out the Ultimate Athlete Hoop Handbook. I mean, I got a whole bunch of playlists. I got an athleticism playlist, a speed quickness playlist, strength training playlist, an abs and core playlist. All these are on YouTube. Don't cost you nothing to watch them. The channel, on my channel, all the playlists are listed on the right-hand side. And if you want a workout program that tells you exactly what to do, get the Ultimate Athlete Hoop Handbook on hoophandbook.com. Next question, John from Texas. How do you become a better clutch shooter? Same as the answer to all the other questions before about game situations. You want to get better at clutch shooting, you got to get in clutch shooting situations and experience the failure and the successes and roll with it. You're not going to make it every time. You ain't going to miss it every time, hopefully. But you got to go through it to get better at it. There's no book you can read, no video you can watch. Dominic. He asked me, what would I do in life if I got a career-ending injury? Because he was thinking about Brandon Roy and thinking about what happens when a tragedy like this happens to him. Well, Dominic, that's a relative question, really, because nobody can say what injury would end a career. It's Brandon Roy. Well, let's just talk about me. Let's talk about any random player, because I'm not going to talk about me injuring myself. A random player, let's say they tear up the ligaments in their knee. Now, for one player, that could be career-ending. They could say, I'm done with basketball. Another guy could say, I'm not done. I'm going to fight back. I'm going to go through rehab for a year or 2 years or 6 months or whatever it takes, and I'm going to come back and play basketball. Another guy could get his leg amputated, and he said, well, I'm not done with basketball. I'm going to go play wheelchair basketball. I'm going to do the Special Olympics. So to say career-ending is relative, because for one person, for the same injury for 2 different people, one person can say, I'm done. The other person can say, I'm coming back, and there ain't no doubt about it. Me personally, I haven't had a career-ending injury. I don't plan on having one, and unfortunately, Dominic, I'm not going to sit here and talk about that possibility. Knock on wood. Thanks for the question. Next one. Steven from Canada. What do I plan to do after basketball's over for me? Well, I'm going to do a lot of things. I'll let you know once basketball's over. You'll see what I'm doing, but I'm not going to sit here and lay it out for you. You're just going to have to wait and see. Next question. Do I take days off? How often or when, and why do you take them? You got to give your body rest. So of course I take days off. Don't work out 7 straight days, 30 days in a row for a month. You got to take your days off. I don't have a certain schedule. I'm not going to tell you certain days you need to take off, but your body needs rest. You got to listen to your body. So for anybody watching this, you want to know when should you take a day off, or when can you, or how should you? Listen to your body. You know what you are capable of doing. Nobody else can tell you what your body feels, or if you're capable of going out and working out again today like you did yesterday, or doing it again for the next 5 days like you did the previous 5 days. Listen to your body and make sure you get the proper rest. Because athletes, our bodies are what does it for us. Our brand is our bodies. Once your body goes, you can't perform anymore. That might be it for you. So you got to be able to perform. You got to do what's necessary for you to be able to perform. Now, some players might need 6 hours of sleep. Some need 8. Some need 2 hours of sleep. Some people can eat pizza every day. Some people can't perform if they eat McDonald's. You got to figure out what works for you. There's no one perfect way. So listen to your body and react and plan accordingly. That was Robert from North Carolina. Thanks for the question. Harder from Norway, from Oslo, Norway. He wants to know how much is overtraining. I had 8 hard practices a week. So his question is it too much? He lifts weights 3 times and 5 times his basketball. So that's 8 total practices, and he had a whole bunch of hard practices. How much is too much? I want to injure myself if I do this much. And he gives 110% every time. So he wants to know, is this too much? I can't tell you if it's too much. I'm not you. I don't have your body. I don't feel what you feel. I don't think what you think. I don't experience what you experience. You have to listen to your body, just like I said in a couple questions ago. Listen to your body and decide what works for you. I can't tell you what's too much for you. Just like you can't tell me what's too much for me or what's not enough for me. Only I know what works for me. Only you will know what works for you, because nobody else can feel what you feel. So you had to decide that. Thomas from Ontario. Who was the best coach I ever had, and how many points have I scored in a game? The best coach I ever had, I'll say my coach when I was playing in the rec league in Philly. This dude named Barron at Finley Playground. Only because he was the first person to say, all right, you think you good, so I'm going to run some plays for you. I'm going to get you the ball. I'm going to give you an opportunity to show that you're nice. He was the first person to give me that opportunity to show that I had game, and I had some success there. And the confidence I gained from that helped me take it to the next level and the next level and the next level. How many points have I scored in a game? Most points I ever scored in a pro game was 40. Next question. Hanuel from Korea. Is arm strength important to improve basketball handles? Well, that's kind of a broad question. If you want to improve your basketball handles, if that's your goal, then you need to practice ball handling. I got a whole playlist of ball handling drills and a hoop handbook of ball handling practicing. So if you want to get better at ball handling, do the ball handling drills. Your arm strength will increase just from doing that. If you want to do strength training, and I got a strength training hoop handbook coming, and you also got the Ultimate Athlete that's out already, and I also got a bunch of strength training videos on YouTube that you can watch right now. So thanks for that question. Tyrell from New York. What is your mindset going into a game when you know you're getting looked at from a scout from college or the pros? What kind of things do you think about before you play? What is the proper mindset? Tyrell, I cannot tell you what the proper mindset is for you. Like, all humans are wired differently. Like, I'm wired a certain way, Kobe thinks a certain way, or Derrick Rose thinks a certain way, and Tyrell, you think a certain way. So we all could have different mindsets going into a game, and we could all play great in our games. So there's no one perfect way that you need to be thinking before a game. So I can't tell you what way you should think when a college scout's watching you. You should go out there and think whatever way helps you perform at your best. So look back at your past performances, the games you played the best, games you didn't do as well as you wanted to, and think, what did you do that game that you didn't do the game that you didn't do too well? What were you thinking? What did you do before the game? How did you prepare for the game? What did you do leading up the days and weeks and months leading up to that game that you did great? And how was it different from the games that you didn't do as well as you want to? And figure it out from there. It's basically deductive reasoning. Next question. This is Drew from Amherst, Ohio. He had his first high school open gym with a lot of varsity players. How can you be more confident when you're playing with people better than you? Well, you can watch my video on confidence. That'll help you mentally get into somewhat of the mind state, but your confidence is going to come from actually doing stuff. So you got to actually accomplish something to really be confident. Otherwise, it's just like you being arrogant, but you don't have the accomplishments. People can see right through that, especially somebody that's better than you. So the most important thing you could do to get confidence playing with better players is get better so that you're closer to their level, and it's real confidence. Next question. Brian from Florida. Does gaining muscle help you drive to the basket? That's kind of a loaded question too. Does gaining muscle help you drive to the basket? Being stronger can help keep defenders off of you, But also, if you add a certain amount of bulk, it could possibly slow you down. But it's all nuanced depending on the person, what skills they had already, their size, their height, their physical ability before they started to add the strength, before they started to add the muscle, before they added the bulk. So it's kind of a loaded question for me to answer, Brian. But when the strength training hoop handbook comes out this summer, that will be addressed in detail for you. So all you gotta do is go get the strength training hoop handbook. When it comes out, there will be an announcement, and you can go from there. Next question, Andre from North Carolina. How can I be humble but not sound cocky when I know I'm better than people, period? Well, if you know you're better than people, why do you have to sound like anything? You don't have to say nothing. If you're concerned about how you sound when you talk about yourself, just don't say anything. Just let your game do the talking. And that's all there is to it. Chris from Connecticut, how do you transfer drills and workouts and such to games? You got to go playing games. As simple as that. You work out to increase your skills and get better and sharpen your abilities, and then you got to go into games and do them. Is it going to be perfect the first time you try to do it in the game? Probably not if you haven't done it before, but you got to keep going. Go through the successes, go through the failures, see what worked, see what didn't work, see how the defense reacted. Think about it. Think about how you could have done it differently. Make adjustments and go from there. And that's going to happen every single game for the rest of your life. Even Kobe Bryant makes adjustments now. He's been in the NBA for whatever number of years he's been in the league, been playing basketball all his life, has won all those championships and scored all those points. He still makes adjustments to his game from what he worked on to what happens in the game and how the defense reacts to it. So it never ends. You just got to keep doing it over and over again. If you want to be a basketball player, that's part of the job. Next question. Jefferson from California, from Los Angeles, California. What was the hardest challenge you faced growing up as a teen? I guess he's asking what was, since I'm not a teenager. Hardest challenge I faced growing up as a teen? As a basketball player, just gaining acceptance, getting better. But I knew what I had to do to get better. Just work out, and work out. I kept practicing. I got better, and I'm here now. The rest is history. Next question. Ilija from Serbia says, do I think that someone who just started playing at 15 years old can be a good basketball player? Of course. Anybody can be a good basketball player. It doesn't matter where you start. All that matters is where you finish. And where, how, and when you finish is all determined by you. Nobody else determines when you finish, because finish is when you decide to stop. And nobody can make you stop. You choose to stop. And Blake from Oklahoma, what is my 2012 NBA Finals prediction? I'll post a video of my finals prediction before the finals start, but I'm not going to predict the finals during the first round of the playoffs or the second round or the third round. I'm going to just predict the winner when we know who it is. A versus B, I'll predict the winner. I'll predict the number of games and the MVP, but not until the finals are about to start. So that's that. That's all the questions for Q&A Thursday. I want you to let me know in the comments what you think about this, if we should keep it going or not. You feel like I should answer questions in a different format, etc., etc. And anybody who has questions, post them down here in the comments, and I'm going to answer these in the next Q&A video. So that's that. Thank you for the questions, everybody who wrote in. Thank you, everybody that's watching. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. You watch me work on my game, now it's time to work on yours. The Hoop Handbook is a series of workout programs straight from my own personal experience working out and training on every aspect of basketball. Ball handling, shooting, scoring moves, scoring over bigger defenders, the crossover, post moves, your weak hand, off the court training, dunking, vertical, all of it's covered. All you got to do is follow the program step by step. The Hoop Handbook. And as he comes back to your right, you just reach the ball right over his head and finish the shot.